And I'm so excited to be back with you guys. This is literally, it's been a long time coming for me finishing up this series. This is part three of my series, Don't Destroy Your Destiny. Now, remember, part one was about finding out I was going to be a dad. Part two was about dropping out of college, dropping out of school, and just making bad decisions, also making good decisions that could have destroyed my destiny, but thank God it did not. And now part three today, which is something, and I'll tie it all together, which I think is something that's really, really critical and something we really have to understand is that when you're on this road and on this journey with your destiny and when you're pursuing success and you're building the kingdom of God, you have to understand that there's going to be times when you have to take risk and when you have to leave that quote unquote job. Okay, so this is my journey and I'm going to go ahead and hop right into it. In 2016, when I came home from college, when I left North Carolina A&T State University, I came back home to Columbus, Ohio, and I knew my pops had just passed, but I knew that I was only fulfilled when I was able to get into the community and do the work that God had called me to do. So when I was in the community, when I came back home, I was working little jobs like working at a movie theater. I worked at a gym for a little bit. I worked at a team mentoring program for a little bit. But what began to happen was as I put more energy into my business and into the thing that really brought me fulfillment, right? Because speaking is my business. I have a motivational speaking business. When I really, really started to hone in and put more hours into the speaking business, that also means that the amount of hours that I put in on work at work made decrease and that my demand in my business is going to increase, right? Now, you may not always see results that are completely aligned with the amount of work that you're putting in, but for me, I was beginning to see results. People were beginning to pay me for more gigs and for more workshops and speaking and things of that nature. I had to realize that even if a job at the time didn't pay me the most, so I was working jobs that weren't really paying me anything. I was making like $5 an hour as a busser at the movie theater and plus tips, right? So I really wasn't making nothing. This is when I first came home from school, but I had plenty of time throughout the day to work on my business, to call schools, I had a list with names and numbers and principals and staff members, and I would sit in this hot room all day because I didn't work until like the nighttime, until like the evening, until the early morning, like maybe 8 to 2 or 7 to 2 a.m. or whatever it was. And I would just be calling people, cold calling principals, emailing principals, calling staff, asking when I can come in for a meeting. And a lot of times I got denied. But what me being strategic in the job that didn't pay me much, I was getting paid nothing, but gave me the freedom and flexibility. Okay, now this is 2016, so I was just really, really beginning to profit from my business, but I wasn't making anything really in my day job. And so as 2016 turned into 2017, my business demand increased. Okay, now let me tie this back to making decisions to destroy your destiny. Okay, so at the time, I was applying to a bunch of different jobs, right? But I was still putting in a crazy amount of time in for my business, for speaking, for meetings and all that kind of stuff. And so I would get some jobs that were quote unquote comfortable and secure and they paid me more money, and people around me wanted me to take the job, specifically like parents, as they would want to do because they want you to be secure, to be financially stable. Like I got a job at the post office one year, but I knew that that was going to be a heavy demand and take away from time that I had for my business, right? And so that's 2016 going into 2017. What I learned is that even if it requires me to take less money, if it gives me more freedom and flexibility when it comes to my business, when it comes to my brand, when it comes to my product, my service, when it comes to empowering other people, when it comes to building the kingdom of God, even if I have to take less money, but I have more freedom and more flexibility, then I'm going to take it. And so what I want you guys listening to this video to understand is that your job is not going to always be your main focus. You may have to make some tough decisions, hence leaving a job or jumping from job to job. I can't tell you how many jobs I've then had before I was got to the point where I am today, and I'll tell you guys how I got to that point. So 2016, when I come home from school, I'm working at like the movie theater, but I have a lot of time on my hands because I'm all day, every day, just working on my business. In 2017, ended up working at a teen mentoring program and ended up working at Planet Fitness. Now, between those two jobs, because I left I was at the team mentoring, just working there, the team mentoring program. I was making good money. I was making enough money to keep my bills paid. At this point, I had my own spot to keep the fridge full, to keep my lights on. But it was taken away for the time throughout the day for me to work with different groups, for me to do workshops, for me to speak, for me to pour into other people. And so, I was spiritually being drained on the job. Me and the lady who ran it, we didn't really get along too well. And so I knew that that was coming to an end. And so contrary to what other people thought I should do, I ended up leaving the team mentoring program in 2017 and ended up going to Planet Fitness. Now, it was a crazy jump because Planet Fitness paid me $9 an hour, but it was slightly more flexible. So it gave me more time to pour into my business. The more time you pour into anything, whatever it is, your business, reading, whatever you pour and focus and put more energy into, is only going to manifest more of that. So I left the team mentoring program. I wasn't happy and it was taking up too much of my time anyway. And I went to Planet Fitness. Now that was hardly keeping the lights on. In fact, one of my bills was not even enough to cover my entire rent, but by the grace of God, somehow everything was still able to get paid for. But I knew that there was more. And so I ended up getting an opportunity to contract with a mental health agency. So right now where I'm at in my life, I have my speaking business and so I contract wherever I go. I'm an independent contractor and I contract with a mental health agency as a life coach. So I don't work for anybody per se. I just contract with the mental health agency, and then I have my speaking business where I get booked and paid to do workshops and speaking events and assemblies, all kind of stuff like that. And so in order to get from Planet Fitness to the life coaching opportunity that came through my friend's mother, one of my high school teammates, his mother reached out to the lady who brought me on and said, I'm looking for some young, enthusiastic coaches, some people to work with these young people and really get out into the field. I got recommended by the grace of God. And I've been life coaching ever since. Now, the reason why I took it is because it's so flexible. Right? When you're pursuing your destiny and when you're building something, say it's a business, a career, whatever it is, when you're building something, make sure you look for flexibility. I know for me, that was a key thing. So even if I wasn't making as much money, even if I wasn't making as much as I was at Planet Fitness, I have flexibility so I can work whenever I want. I can see clients whenever I want. I can schedule my speaking engagements and speaking events around that schedule, right? So that's 2016, 2017, and then from 2018 until now, I've been contracting with the mental health agency and I've had my speaking business. So you guys have to realize your jobs, that may not be it for you, okay? You're going to want to look for flexibility. So right now, as an independent contractor, I have flexibility in my schedule, which gives me more time to pour into my business. We have to make sure that we're being very, very strategic. And it's going to be contrary to what a lot of people believe and think that you should do with your life, right? I've quit so many jobs over the years, but each time I quit, I got one step closer to getting more freedom throughout my day to pour into my business, to pour into speaking, to pour into doing workshops, to pour into ministry, to pour into getting into the community, right? These are tough decisions. That if we listen to other people and that if we don't follow what we know God is telling us to do in our heart, you can literally alter your destiny. And instead of going on this path, you'll end up on this path and you can miss your blessing. That's why this is called Do Not Destroy Your Destiny, right? So we talked about decisions in relationships. We talked about decisions regarding school and then decisions regarding quitting jobs. It's something that has to happen sometimes. Sometimes you have to quit that job to get to the next level. Over the years, I ended up quitting so many jobs. I was judged. I was told you're ruining your life. I was told you're making a big mistake. But when you listen to the Spirit and when you listen to what God tells you to do, you'll be fine. You'll be completely fine. And so to get to the level that I'm at now, to where I have so much freedom, it's been a complete blessing. And so it's possible for you too. So I'm a contractor right now, then I have my business. So just be strategic. Learn to be strategic in your moves, but also learn to be courageous when it comes to making decisions that regard your business or your destiny or something that you want to pursue. You will not always make everybody happy with your decisions. You will not always please everybody, and that is okay. Jumping from job to job was a blessing. No, I didn't handle every situation right. No, I didn't leave the way that I should have left, but it got me one step closer to living a life where I have freedom, a life where I can pour into the youth, a life where I can bless other people more, a life where I can get into my ministry more, a life where I can pour more into my business, hence pouring more into other people. So remember, you have to be strategic, you have to be bold, you have to ultimately do what's best for you. That job that you're working right now may not be the end all be all. God may be telling you that you need to leave, take a leap of faith. And I know that during this time may not be the best time to say that, but this video I want to live on. It may be time. So if there's anything in this video that helped you, that blessed you, please let me know. Comment below, subscribe to my channel, share this video with as many people as you can. My Instagram is Nate Jameson Speaks. That's NateJamesonspeaks. My Twitter is Speak Nate Speak, SpeakNatespeak. And my Snapchat is NJ Jameson. That's NJJameson. So share this video, tag somebody in it, like, comment. Let me know if you liked it, if you enjoyed it. If you didn't, it's all good and it's all love, but I pray that it helps you out. Remember, do not destroy your destiny when it comes to jobs, thinking that that job is the end all be all for you. If you're not happy, if you are not fulfilled, keep it moving. Be strategic about it. But it's going to take some courage. It's going to take some leaps of faith for you to get to that next level, but it's possible. I've seen it. I've seen it personally with my own life.